Lakers because Austin Reaves has been an integral part, of what they've been doing over these last few years. The problem, I guess, if you want to say, is that now that they have Luka, there are, I guess, questions, one around the defense in the backcourt with Luka and Austin Reaves. That's one thing. The other thing is, Austin Reaves' contract is not up this year, but the year after, he has a player option. So a player option means like when next year's free agency comes around, if he decided that he wanted to stay on the Lakers, he has that, choice. Like the Lakers don't have the choice to tell him no, I guess. That's the best way I can explain it. So anyway, so Austin Reaves technically has 1 or 2 years left on his contract, depending on, the player option thing. So the Lakers are in an interesting position again because of getting Luka. It kind of changed the whole trajectory of obviously their whole future. But that includes Austin Reaves, right? So now we are starting to not really hear reports because, like, Austin Reaves has not come out and said anything, neither have the Lakers, and, I don't think either side are going to say anything at this current moment because that doesn't make sense because we have a whole season ahead of them. And for all we know, the season could go way better than expectations. And Austin Reaves could and will be an integral part of that. So, I don't expect to hear any, big time conversations about is Austin Reaves being traded, anytime super soon. But when the trade deadline starts to roll around, we might start to hear those rumors because, again, next summer he has a player option. So again, that means he gets to decide kind of his future, right? So if the Lakers got indication from him or whatever that when the season ended he was going to leave, meaning he was not going to pick up his player option and then wouldn't re-sign after, then the Lakers might be more inclined to trade him at the trade deadline because they would essentially lose him for nothing in that scenario. So that's one way you can go. The other way is we heard that, I believe, they offered Austin Reaves a contract of something, whatever it was this summer, and it made sense. Like it wasn't like a surprise that Austin Reaves turned it down because the contract, from what I remember, is like if he waited till next summer, it's like way more money. So that wasn't like breaking news. But again, that is, hinging on, does hinging make sense? I think that makes sense. Hinging on the speculation that he still wants to be a Laker. And to be honest, I don't know Austin Reaves. Never had a conversation with him, obviously. But I haven't seen anything, in the way that he has, presented himself on and off the court that indicates that he doesn't want to be there. To me, it seems like he does want to be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he re-signed, next summer. I wouldn't be surprised if he opted out of his player option just to get more money, and then re-sign with the Lakers. So I think that's definitely on the table. But again, it's like it's a two-folded answer, because they just brought in Marcus Smart, who is obviously known more for his defense and stuff like that, right? So, again, the questions around the defense in the backcourt with Luka, and then LeBron. I don't know if you call LeBron part of the backcourt. We know LeBron has played point guard pretty much his whole career, even though he's technically a small forward. So I don't know if you really consider him part of the backcourt, but we know that, like, at 41 years old, he's not playing much defense, of course. Like, it's just, kind of physically impossible. Not impossible, but, like, to do everything he does on the offensive end, that'd be a lot of energy to exert. I'm not saying it's not possible, but he's not going to be an elite defender during the regular season, at least not for every game. So you're looking at potential defense concerns with Luka, with LeBron, and then Austin Reaves. And it's not to say Austin Reaves doesn't try, but, like, he's just not a great defender. So they bring in Marcus Smart. And so, if you're saying that, are you saying Austin Reaves is now going to the bench and you're selling him on a bench role? And it's not that he's never come off the bench before. So, like, it's not like, I don't think Austin Reaves would be offended necessarily. Like, he has come off the bench before, but at the same time, he has proven to be, a really important player to, the organization. And again, his defense is not obviously Marcus Smart's defense, but his offensive production is better than Marcus Smart's, right? So I don't know how Austin Reaves would feel in totality about coming off the bench. Like, I think he would do it. I think he's a professional. I don't think he would, like, complain, right? Like, I think he would be a good locker room guy still. But if you had to sell him on a bench role, now with the, growth that he's had and, like, how good he has become from where he started, that's a tough sell, because that also might, hinder his ability to get the big bag, this upcoming off season where he is eligible, right? And again, it's not that it's all about the money, but, like, Austin Reaves was not the number one overall pick like LeBron, right? Like, he had to earn this contract that he just got and the one that he might get this summer. So, of course, Austin Reaves is going to want to be able to maximize his production and get the biggest contract possible because he has earned it, right? So I don't fault him, again, this is, speculation, but, like, I don't fault him for, potentially wanting to get the biggest contract possible, because this wasn't necessarily his original trajectory, when he came into the league. So I hate to bring up, Isaiah Thomas, because, that's kind of like a soft also, but a sore spot for, people. Isaiah Thomas when he's on the Celtics. And then he played through the hip injury and he was in line for that big max contract, and then we know that, he never got it, and eventually he just fell out of the league, and, it was, sad and unfortunate. And that's not to say that Austin Reaves is necessarily, in the same position that Isaiah Thomas was in at that moment. But I just bring up that example to say, like, there's a reason that players want to get their bag when they can secure it. It's not always that they're being greedy. It's that you don't know what's going to happen, in the future. And again, when you're not someone like LeBron or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, well, Steph Curry wasn't, projected to be, as good as he became, but, like, LeBron or Kevin Durant, when you are those guys, teams, teams are always going to want those players, because of what they were supposed to be and what they turned out to be. So, again, I don't fault Austin Reaves if he wants, a big bag. So I say that to say, this season, I know a lot of people are looking at Luka, as you should, and are focusing on, what Luka is going to do in his, I guess people are calling it his revenge season, whatever. But we should also be looking at Austin Reaves. Not in terms of his production. I think he's going to do just fine. But in terms of like, what is the trajectory of his future with the Lakers, potentially. Again, I'm not trying to like, say Austin Reaves is looking to leave because I haven't seen any indication of that in my opinion. So I'm not trying to like start something that's not there. I'm just saying when someone is coming into a contract here and the entire franchise has completely different future aspirations, given the fact that they acquired Luka, it is fair, to look at Austin Reaves and be like, let's see what happens here with him, right? Because we just don't know. And again, they brought in Marcus Smart too. So I'm not saying Austin Reaves wants to leave, and I'm not saying Austin Reaves will leave. I'm just saying I don't think it's unfair to just keep your eye out for him. Somebody said, what contract do you think he will get next season as a free agent? I think it depends. That's kind of what I was saying earlier in the live stream. Like, if you're trying to sell Austin Reaves on a, bench role, because you want Marcus Smart with Luka in the backcourt to have, defense. That's where I was saying, like, it's tricky because that could, take away from his ability to get a large contract. And again, he's a team player, so, like, I'm not saying he would refuse the bench role, but at the same time, like, that could make him more likely to leave because if you're coming off the bench, not everybody is like Lou Will, right? Like, Lou Will come off the bench and still get 20, right? And that's not to say Austin Reaves can't do that, but, like, I don't know if he's going to have the same freedom that Lou Will would when he came off the bench, right? So if we're assuming Austin Reaves is still a starter and, his role doesn't really change, right? Like, not too crazy. I'm trying to remember what the max was for him. I can't remember what his I don't remember what his max was for this upcoming offseason. Was it like 4-year 150 or something? I don't know. I don't quote me on that. I really don't remember. If I had to guess though, because I believe the contract that he's on right now is like 4-year 50, which is like a steal for the Lakers. I would say it's got to be like at least 4-year 100. That seems pretty accurate for what he does. $25 million per year. I know the salaries keep going up, but $25 million for what Austin Reaves does isn't really unreasonable in today's NBA, right? He's a good player, but I'm just saying, like, $25 million is, people are making $70 million. So again, I don't remember what the max is, but 4-year 100 sounds fair to me. So that would be my number. I don't know if obviously if you can get more, then get more, but like, I think 4-year 100 sounds pretty fair. So thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed.